Hey everybody, welcome back to Off the Grid on the Record, the show where we dig into the stories behind clean energy transformation, one business at a time. Today we're heading down to Virginia, a little bit of a change up from where we usually have our guests from, but this is a place where a local roofing company is proving that sustainability isn't just for Silicon Valley. Big Lake Roofing is leading the charge and leading the change in integrating solar into residential roofing and doing it with speed, style, and a local first mentality. Joining us today, it's my pleasure to introduce Dakota Weddle, the founder of CEO of Big Lake Roofing. Dakota, welcome to the show. Where are you joining us from today?
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm joining you right here from Boonsville, Virginia, just south of Roanoke, the old Big Lick City, known as the Star City now. But thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, of course. No, we appreciate it. It's our honor to have you here, and I'm excited to jump right into it. So I think we just start from the top. What led you to launch Big Lick Roofing? What was the vision at the time?
So I've been involved in construction pretty much since I was able to swing a hammer. My dad had a very well-known company in the valley for about 20 some years. And
Wow.
as he started phasing out and retiring, it was my decision to walk away and start something new on my own that I could put together a vision and take on the challenges ahead.
That's fantastic. I love that. I mean, it'd be a tough ask, a tough job. I mean, roofing is a competitive space. How did you start to differentiate early on?
So early on when I started, construction was everything to me. So we did everything from full remodels on homes to decks, siding, windows, doors. I did it all when I first got going. It's all new. And it was 2 years after I went into business that I decided to specialize in nothing but roofing.
Hmm.
Roofing is cutthroat in my market, but it's something that has quick turnover, and there's always new challenges ahead every day with it.
That's amazing. And I mean, you've scaled pretty quickly, like hence those challenges, and you've earned a lot of like great local reputation from what I've seen. So, I mean, what's been the key to that momentum?
Yeah, so growth the first couple years was hard. It was hard to reach that seven. Well, I shouldn't say seven, but it's beyond seven now. But that first seven figures, and once you hit the seven figure mark, it's only up from there. But it gets harder and harder to scale as you start tacking on the zeros. But the key that we found in our market was to differentiate, bringing new values to the community and bringing new resources with us is what helped us scale and set apart from the rest. My company is young, and we go up against 20, 30, 40-year-old companies every day that are three times my size, and we're able to take market share day by day.
That's fantastic. That's a good spot to be in. And you mentioned like new resources. And one thing that I got excited about is how you offer solar shingles, which is, a huge shift in the roofing world. What made you say, let's, bring solar into this?
So, GAF has been a great partner of mine from the very beginning. When I first got my roots planted, they were the first ones in the door and said, "Hey, we're going to take your vision and let's run with it." And as I scaled up their ladder and was able to make things work, an opportunity came up just a couple years ago when they launched the all new GAF Timberline solar shingle. And that solar shingle was laid in our hands and said, "Hey, take it and run with it, see what you can do." And it was a slow, very slow start with it, but we saw a a future with it. We saw an opportunity to go in the homes and be different and offer a new value to our consumers. And ever since the inception of that shingle, it has changed my business, it's changed our market, and it's changed our relationships with our clients.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. And maybe just give us like a bit of a plain English explanation of what makes it different from, traditional shingle.
Yeah, so Timberline Solar has kind of evolved and changed the whole game of solar. We don't even talk about solar in the home anymore. We call it an energy shingle, and it's truly that.
Wow.
It's an integrated shingle with an already existing GAF Timberline roofing system. Unlike traditional rack-mounted solar panels, you're going to find that there is a greater warranty with power production with this shingle. You're going to find better aesthetics and a whole lot better customer support team should anything happen to that system down the road. You don't have to worry about GAF going out of business. They've been in business for over 140 years, unlike
Wow.
most of your traditional rack-mounted solar companies.
That's fantastic. And maybe give us a bit of like a now on the more technical side, how does that kind of work and how does that change the installation process?
Yeah, so the cool thing about the Timberline solar shingle is it's considered a roofing product. When you do your research on it, it is a weather-tight roofing product. It's warranted against leaks. It's warranted against phase of power production. It's not going to degrade more than like 13.7% over 25 years.
Wow.
Uh, Diving deep into the system, it nails like a shingle and it protects like a shingle should for your home, and that's what helps separate it from the rest. Now, cost wise, yes, it's more expensive, but the reason why is you're buying a solar roofing system. You're not buying a supplement to your current roofing system that's going to add multiple holes into your roofing deck and compromise its integrity.
Fair enough. And are your customers actively asking for solar? Or is it something that you're just kind of helping introduce into the conversation?
Yeah, so it's become a very popular item in the last probably 6 months here, and in my market, power bills are doubling crazy. I mean, even here at my own home, my power bill has doubled in the last year.
Wow.
I'm currently working on putting a system on my home, and the cool thing about it is, yes, it is high in demand now, and the reason why it's high in demand is we've come up with an idea to integrate what we call a hybrid roofing system with it. And essentially, instead of going after the clients that want the full 14 kW system that completely depletes a power bill, we've integrated a small amount of solar shingles into our standard roofing installations that make that roofing installation now applicable for that 30% tax incentive credit. And that is what's helping us in our market separate and also helping our consumers buy a roof that pays for itself over time.
That's amazing. And just walk us through the typical install then, from the time that you quote the customer to the completion. What's that customer journey like?
Yeah, so it's very seamless. You've heard the horror stories when you're adding solar panels to a home of permitting and changing the layout and having to go
Exactly.
down on the power because it was too much. And with that stated, the process with Timberline Solar is so seamless. With us being a proud partner of GAF, they actually handle the permitting process and all the interconnection themselves. There's no subcontracting involved. It is essentially we come in, we're going to rip your old roof off like we would any other roof. We're going to put your new roof on. And next thing you know, GAF Energy is in there hooking it up to the grid, taking advantage of net metering. They're handling the permit process for the consumer, all the interconnection. All the consumer has to do is sit back and watch TV and wait for the switch to turn on. It's that awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. And how is this like is the speed around the same as a regular roof? Like, can you guys get this done in under 48
Yeah,
hours?
yeah. That's a great question. It depends on complexity, of course, but more times than not, we're seeing like right now we have an install going on today, and as far as time goes, it's about the same. It might be a pinch more, only because we're having to run a few wire looms up the roof or something, but we're not talking about a whole extra day of work. It's minimal. We're talking about 30 minutes to an hour additional work to install this system.
That's fantastic. And I mean, on the website and like from some of your personal pages, you emphasize clean installs, a fast turnaround, and a responsive support. How do you train your crews to maintain those standards?
So starting this company has been, obviously a challenge. We are faced with some of the I call ridiculous challenges in my market. Always going up against Hank in the tanks and Chuck in the trucks and cutting each other's throat, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And one thing that I set in stone when I first started Big Lick Roofing was process. Without process, you have nothing. Setting process, setting expectations, holding accountability to the crews and the team members makes the world of difference, not only for us as a company, but for the consumer too. Setting those expectations ahead of time. You said it right off the bat. How do you do it? It's not rocket science. It's not. There's no cheating to it. It's just making sure you hold your guys accountable and having a process in place to take you from step A to B to C all the way to Z.
Hmm. That's amazing. I love that. And I mean, when you have things like that, where I don't want to say there's more of a case where things can go wrong, but I'm saying that there might be a couple more complexities. So, how do you approach quality control, especially when integrating things like solar into a roof?
Quality control has always been the biggest challenge for anybody in construction, especially roofing. There's so many unforeseen things that can pop up during an installation. It's not uncommon for us to occasionally ruin a bush here and there. Forget to pick up a few nails. Like we're all human, right? It happens. But quality control is one of those things where when you are held to a standard by a roofing manufacturer, like we are, to hold our accreditations and master elite badges, you take the extra steps on the front end to make sure your crews understand that, hey, one wrong turn can cause you to not have a job tomorrow. And it goes a long ways. Not saying that we don't, tame ourselves a little bit when we have human error because it happens, right? We're human. But if you are making mistakes every other job, we're going to have a conversation and potentially look a different direction.
That's fantastic. Honestly, it's probably the best way to approach it. I love the honesty. And I think that reflects into the reviews and into the feedback that you get from customers because you've got great reviews and a very strong web presence. You know, how are you marketing Big League today? Like, how are you getting not only the product but your company in front of the eyes of, potential customers?
Yeah, so marketing and branding is huge when it comes to a roofing company. Separating yourself, having something that nobody else has, being seen in the places that nobody else is being seen at. For instance, my hat. We have a Sasquatch, and that right there signifies a lot. And
Hmm.
having that Sasquatch has just started conversations. Our truck wraps have the Sasquatch on them. I have taken a twist to marketing. I'm not your guy that jumps and spins the big figures on TV broadcasts, and we don't have every billboard in the valley. That's not my approach. My approach is simply branding, right? Going out, doing great work in the neighborhoods, talking to the neighbors, proximity marketing, using our truck wraps, right? Putting our trucks in the right places at the right times, and just being seen. That's the biggest ticket that we've seen in our market for success is you don't have to be the guy that spends six figures a month on marketing to get that next customer. It's all about doing great work and getting that referral.
That's fantastic. And are all these referrals documented, or are you guys mainly just like you're so booked up with, how good things are going that there's not much time for that?
Yeah, so referrals are one of those things that not only do we reward our sales team for, but we also keep track of it. We want to know how much our business has grown over the years with just referral base because there has to come a point where you dial back your marketing. Most of your big guys out there are always encouraging it, right? Go spend more, go do more. And the second that you stop and you look and you say, "Hey, am I doing a great work? Or am I pleasing people? Am I getting that 5-star review? Am I talking to neighbors? Am I spreading the good word?" It really shows, right? And with that stated, you got to have some CRM in place to track your every move. Over the years, I have invested in different CRMs. I have swapped CRMs because they haven't, you know, done certain things that I wanted it to do, and they wasn't willing to make the changes. Um, but our current CRM in place, tracks everybody. We have AI working in our new CRM that will essentially rank a lead. So when Mr. Jones calls in about his roof and we take the data and we plug it in, it'll tell us based off of the zip code and the income in that area if this is going to be a really great lead or if this is going to be a really bad lead. And based off of close rates, based off of who we have in the office that week, will determine who goes and sees Mr. Jones.
Fair
So
enough.
tracking referrals is huge. You got to know how your business is doing and where you need to go.
Exactly. And I mean, apart from referrals, how are you getting people into the CRM? Is there any campaigns that you're specifically running that are working very well right now?
So I have a pretty unique lead intake process set up, and that's big. Making sure that you're qualifying clients on the front end, because when you step into the world of business, especially roofing, the day that you walk into your office and can sit down and say, "Hey, not every client's a good fit for me, and I'm not always going to be a good fit for them is the day that your business changes. And it
Hmm.
allows you to spend that extra few minutes on the phone with your consumer, asking questions to qualify them for your services. So I have a person in place that answers our phones. I also have a 24-hour call center that has a list this long of qualifying questions that they ask. And we put them, if they can get through those questions and they answer all the right answers, they're going in our CRM and we're going to run it. But as soon as we get one that doesn't quite fit that need, we don't want to waste our time and we don't want to waste their time either.
Exactly. That's phenomenal. Have you experimented with different types of, I guess, outreach that, some people might be able to take some insight from? Some things that maybe you thought would work, but maybe didn't work out as well as you thought. Any like social context that maybe had to play? Of
Yeah. So, obviously experimenting is a big part of business. It's fun. It's also risky.
course.
But as far as lead intake goes, we messed around with AI for a little bit. We had some bots answering the phones and just trying to see what we could do out of it. Because there are roofing companies out west that are operating off of AI bots. They have AI assistants
Hmm.
that answer the phones, take all the information. Now, the quality of that lead, I'm not sure. I haven't been able to talk to anybody to see how that works. Do I feel like it's something that would work in my market? Probably not, because you get away from that personal touch, and that's what goes the extra mile nowadays with people, is having that extra touch. So humans answering the phone, I wouldn't get away from it. Just my 2 cents.
Exactly. That's amazing. It's obviously as like a customer, as a consumer, you never want to call and be meted with AI. There's always nice to have a personal factor in there, but at least for the first connection, because once you're going through the process and you're able to talk to a human at some point, it definitely solves a lot of the problems for you. So I really like that. But one thing I kind of want to talk about is the next thing that you have when you have the customer is like the loyalty. Like, is there a big fear that you run into with some customers, or any kind of setbacks that maybe you've overcome when a customer wants a new roof and they're skeptical. Oh my goodness, skeptical about something.
Hard one to say, man.
It is a hard
That's
one.
a hard pill to swallow. Uh, yeah, I mean, running and growing a business, you want to try to increase your acquisition, right? That's the goal. You want to figure out why you wasn't a good fit for Mr. Jones and how you can become a better fit for him down the road. And yes, there's always that fear of, hey, I'm going to go spend an hour and a half in this customer's home and walk out with nothing. It happens. And with that stated, that fear will never go away, because you're never going to be that perfect fit for everybody. There's always going to be somebody cheaper, right? And there's always going to be somebody that overpromises and underdelivers. Eventually, that stuff catches up. And when you have that mindset that you can lose 20 customers and be okay with it, just knowing that there's going to be a time where they call you back, your life changes, especially in the face of business. And it took me a while to learn that, because when I first got out and going, I was volume based. I wanted every roof. I wanted to try to service every client I could, and learned really quickly that growing fast was not the move at all.
Hmm.
And we quickly changed our structure and started focusing on quality. And once we slowed down, we earned our GAF accreditations. We got the nice stuff in to put on people's roofs. We got the upgrade technology. We got to present better. We earned a better reputation. Life changes. But yes, every day we're still faced with that, because we know we've got the big monster private equity roofing companies out there that are slowly phasing in, and they're taking market share because they're just trying to take everything they can. But
Exactly.
education is everything, right? I've always said we educate, so Mr. Customer, you can decide, and that's big. That's huge.
Exactly. And actually, speaking of education, do you offer any kind of educational content or consultations, maybe before a job starts, during, or, just even basic education for someone who might be considering a new roof? And, I mean, in in fashion of the podcast, who might be considering, a solar or a shingle.
Yeah, so education's everything, right? Setting some slots, especially on that initial phone call to your client, really diving into the discovery of what this client needs and what they're looking for can open up so many doors. You wouldn't believe how many people, take a phone call, especially a salesperson, because I mean that's the person, that's your face of your company. When they
Mm-hmm.
get that lead notification, they will spend probably less than 2 minutes on a phone call with Mr. Customer. They just confirm their address, their email, their appointment time, and they're like, "I look forward to meeting you." That's it.
Mm-hmm.
What? That was all?
Where's the rest?
Right? Instead, a well-trained rep, and this is how I train my reps, is, hey, you're going to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes on the phone with Mr. Customer, and I want you to answer a few questions. I want you to dive deep. How long has the roof been leaking? Why do you want a new roof? What kind of roof do you want? Why do you want it? Is
Mm-hmm.
warranty imperfect? Is warranty important to you? Are you looking to finance? There's so many questions you can ask, right? But you don't want to talk too much and talk your way out of the job too soon, right? You don't want that salesman's breath, but uh, it's good to know that stuff, because when you go into the door, if you can sell to the consumer's needs, you're going to have a better close rate. But if you walk in the door with your good, better, best that isn't fine tuned for that consumer, you're going to get nowhere. All you're going to
Exactly.
get is your price is too high, or somebody's cheaper, or they told me I can do a 50-year warranty. Your warranty's only this. It, you're going to run up against a wall. So that's one thing that we
Fair
need to learn
enough.
early on. Discover, discover,
And
discover.
exactly. And have you guys gone into, recording any content and having that permanently up on a website or, on YouTube, on Instagram, and really going into the like the social media side of things? Because that's a massive thing for businesses now. And I'm just wondering if you guys have, dabbled with that at all.
Yeah, TikTok is becoming, the trend. I catch myself even watching TikToks, and
I
there's a lot of
had to delete
good.
it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good on TikTok, but there's also a lot of bad. Um, we started making some content. It's just me. I shouldn't even say we. I should just say I. Um, been making some content, and it's been a mix of educational and funny. Good laugh. The Big Lick page is growing on TikTok. But that's going to be a trend, and as soon as you can allocate the time to do it twice a day, every day, and continue to develop that personal brand online or on TikTok, Facebook, it's going to help you scale, and it's going to help you build trust with your consumers, because you won't believe how many
Exactly.
consumers know about you before they even call you. So that's
Oh
huge.
yeah. That is massive. And I think that's a great conversation to have. But that also kind of feeds into, I guess, everything is part of the education conversation. But you mentioned warranties, and I'm kind of curious, how do warranties play into like customer decision making, whether you're doing like regular shingles or if you're doing the solar ones?
So warranties is always that tough conversation to have with a client, because believe it or not, 70% of the roofers out there don't even truly understand a roofing warranty. And they're great at selling it to you, but it's truly not the full truth. And that's a tough discussion, but we always allot a good amount of time at the end of every sales consultation to talk about warranties, because understanding how one works, what's going to be covered and what's not, is building that transparency and building that trust with the client. And you wouldn't believe how many consumers in our market believe there's a 50-year shingle out there. I mean, that's
Wow.
the biggest, every roofer will walk in the door and say, "Hey, Mr. Customer, we sell a 50-year shingle, or we sell a lifetime shingle." It's no such thing. The life
Yeah.
expectancy of an asphalt shingle roof is, 15 to 30 years if you're lucky. However, the manufacturers have gotten smart, and they're writing certified workmanship now. And they say, "Hey,
Hmm.
Mr. Certified Installer, if you use all of our premium accessories and you follow our premium practices for installation, we're going to supply you with a warranty that you can supply your customer with, that takes all the liability off of you as the roofer after 2 years and puts it on us for the remainder of the roof's life." And the cool thing about that is, yes, Mr. Customer is going to pay a little bit more upfront for that, but the peace of mind that comes with that down the road is huge. So many
Exactly.
roofs defect 3 to 7 years down the road after installation. They do. And most of the defects are workmanship related. That contractor is more than likely out of business. Or they put a nice 50-year GAF shingle on the roof with, Lowe's branded underlayments, or strip edges, or smooth shank nails. And Yes, the price was $1,000 cheaper, but that's what you got. There's always a shortcut. If that price is just a dollar cheaper, I promise you somebody knows how they're getting a dollar cheaper. There is a reason with every rhyme.
That's amazing. That's a great way to look at it. I love that analogy. And I think when it comes to that quality and really focusing in on, your craft and not necessarily just jumping to the next job before the one is like fully complete, are you looking to expand like geographically or just really double down and where you are now?
You probably won't hear many roofing company owners say it like this, but becoming that big roofing company is not really a goal of mine, nor is it, something I want to achieve. If it falls in place, so be it. But the biggest thing for me is building a quality company. Regardless of how big we get, we want to make sure we're always able to service our clients, and we want to make sure we don't step away from quality. Look, usually, when you start growing really fast and you're taking on that volume, you're not always going to find the best installers. You're not always going to have the best people representing you. And that slowly falls off the cliff down the road when those callbacks catch up to you and you're not able to service those people. So,
Exactly.
as far as us expanding, Big Lick Roofing is Big Lick Roofing. It's a Roanoke name, and we will, we do service a vast area around Roanoke, but we are going to be opening up a couple more branches down the road to better service those further away clients. But as far as
Mhm.
us going out of state or anything, out of the norm, it's probably not up our realm, nor will we try to do it.
Fair enough. And I think a big component of you guys being, I don't, what's the right word? Ambassadors for GAF?
Yeah, that's the way I've always looked at it. I mean, yes, we're a master elite contractor with them, but we've went through training and we went through testing and all that stuff to get that accreditation. So technically, yes, we wear the badge proud, and we live and breathe GAF. So everywhere we go, it's GAF. This it's all over our trucks, our clothes. I'm in just a regular attire today, but usually my shirts are plastered with GAF. So.
I see. Well, then, that being said, how do you see sustainability playing a role in your company's future?
It's a big role, right? It's GAF's not going anywhere, and the level of support that they provide to us as a contractor is just out. I mean, it's immense. There's not another roofing manufacturer out there. And here's the thing. You do your research on GAF as a company. There's keyboard warriors out there. I'm sure they're going to watch this and they might comment this and that, but one thing they can't say is GAF does not stand behind their stuff, because in GAF's warranty, it literally says if you have this product installed by one of our certified contractors, we will warrant against misapplication. It says it clear as day. Other roofing manufacturers will try to get out of any warranty claim. And I put on probably over 3,000 roofs since I started, and I think I've had maybe 5 or 6 actual GAF warranty claims, not due to workmanship, but wind blow off or, a manufacturing defect. It's a phone
Hmm.
call, and within days, there is a team calling me trying to figure out how we're gonna resolve this, how we're gonna make Mr. Customer happy. It's awesome. You're not gonna beat the level of support that comes with GAF, and that's huge for us as the company and our growth and our long-term plans with the roofing industry.
That's phenomenal. I love that. And is there any like cool tech or any cool products that, that either you might have an eye on or that GAF is producing that you're excited to potentially bring into the business?
Being Master Elite with GAF and also being a President's Club installer, we got that award a couple years ago. We're at the top of the totem pole. So when there's new stuff that comes down the line, we're generally one of the first phone calls. And we were able to get a heads up on one of their new metal shingles that have now officially came out in the market, and we got to actually install that product on a local home before it was even on the website. And it blew everybody's minds because metal roofing is a whole nother conversation, but the same standing seam panels and screw down panels have been around for decades.
Hmm.
We need something new. And GAF came out with it. Their timber steel. It's a 24 gauge metal shingle that has a warranty. It's the first ever roofing product, to my knowledge, that's one's American made, but two has a workmanship warranty should it be installed by a master elite contractor like ourselves. that is certified by GF. Most of your metal roof panels, you get a paint warranty. That's it. And then you get a tail light workmanship warranty is what I call it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's really cool. No, tell us more about it. Like what's the like the technical side? What are the advantages, disadvantages of that?
Well, you gotta love metal if you're gonna want this product. It's gonna give your home a more modern look. It's called GAF Timber Steel, and it's an awesome product. We've got 3 or 4 jobs in the pipeline already to install further. I think we're going to be starting another one here in just a couple of weeks. Um, Long story short, as far as what separates it from another metal roof, well, you're going to get away from that traditional look for one, but two, you're going to have a 24 gauge product that has an armor pledge warranty that the metal panel companies can't even match. The paint quality of that product is far superior over what's out there now, and it's backed by, again, the 140-year-old manufacturer. You just got to love metal to love this product, because if you're not into modern looks, you're not going to love the product. It does have some cost to it, but there again, when it comes to your roof, it's hopefully the last roof you ever buy, so you got one chance to make it right.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. And I know you mentioned earlier that, once you first started business, you were kind of a jack of all trades. You were doing a little bit of everything. You were doing, you had a foot in every bucket. And when we're talking about the green solutions, especially with this panel, is there any question of you going back into, or maybe branching out any other, green home solutions? So insulation, windows, batteries, anything like that?
Yeah, so our primary focus will always be roofing. And with that stated, we're not going to venture away from that to, muddy the water. But if GF
Hmm.
comes out with, a battery storage system, which they are, wink, wink, and it's coming out very soon. And with that stated, yeah, we're going to get involved in installing those too, because there's a lot of people that go solar that don't want a net meter. They want to store the power, and that's fine. So GF's going to have a solution to where we don't have to go find a Tesla power wall to do it now. We have a GF product that's going to be covered under the same warranty as the roof now. That's GF's mindset, is like, hey, one call does it all, one warranty covers everything. It's beautiful.
Exactly. No, that's phenomenal. I love that. And I think just to like slowly start to round off, in 5 years, where do you hope to see the business at?
Hopefully, hopefully double the size that we are now, at least, and then some. I know that doesn't really set, everybody wants to double every year, but let's be real, once you hit 7 figures like we have, it gets hard to double every year, especially with our market. But long story short, the end goal for Big Lick is $10 million, and we are well over halfway there in just 6 years' time. And hopefully, by year 10, we've hit 10 million. We've grown a reputable brand, and we've done great work to where we can continue to service the additional people in the family as they age up and buy their houses and start the cycle all over.
That's fantastic. I love that. I love to hear it. And, Dakota, this has been awesome. I mean, look, it's been a great look into how roofing and renewables are really coming together. It's such an innovative thing. And hearing you talk about it with so much passion is, phenomenal. And how a local company like yours is, making it happen. So, for those of you who are listening and want to learn more, check out biglickroofing.com and be sure to look into those JAF Timberline solar shingles. We'll link everything in the show notes. So thanks again, Dakota. And for everyone tuning in, we'll catch you next time on Off the Grid on the Record. So thanks,
Thanks
Dakota.
for
We'll
having
see
me.
you next time.
Take care.